Hi students, in this class we are going to discuss about standard forms of contract. We are having various standard forms of contracts such as JCT, NEC and FIDIC contracts. So about those types of contracts, like types of standard forms of contract, we are going to discuss in this class. What do you exactly by the standard forms of construction contract? Standard forms of construction contract is generally developed. It's like a detailed explanation of what is there in the contract or during the contract, how to react, how to respond to various situations, various scenarios, how to respond if there is any problem exists. It's a pre-document or it's a guidelines given to the contractor as well as the client regarding various clauses, various rules and regulations. So you can see the definition here. Standard forms of construction contract is developed to provide formal, predetermined arrangements and mechanisms to cope with the situations that can arise during the course of a construction project. So this is a basic definition. You can see here. So these are the general common features which are available in any type of standard forms of a contract. Let us go through important features of any contract document, such as quality control, variation, time and money, practical completion, cost scrutiny, program, provision sums, payment, maturity and case precedence, administrative requirement, extension of time. This is a very important one. You can see this will arise generally in various situations, like extension of time. If there is any requirement of extension of time, or if there is any loss or any other expenses, how to deal with the situations, like the time and money, quality controls are very important. However, this leads to a lot of disturbances actually. So then clauses, if there is any clause, generally if there is any escalation in price or current situation, is there any sudden breakdown or lockdown situation which was never expected in any projects, like continuous 30 to 40 days of work has been stopped for a long time. So this is a very important scenario. In this unexpected uncertainties, like who has to take this risk or how to manage this risk is very important. So however, the most important every time is risk management. You can see here, I'm not going to explain this all in this small video. I will show you what is available here and how to study about here. The remaining things we can discuss it in the class well in detail. Okay, so here in this presentation we have created a comparison of JCT contracts, NEC contracts and FIDIC contract. As we have discussed the names in the previous class, JCT, NEC and FIDIC, I am going directly into how they have divided this one. For example, regarding quality control, we are following the same here. Regarding quality control, what JCT says, what is written in NEC in which clause, and what is FIDIC point of view. For example, quality control JCT says JCT issues timely information relating to set out any other pre-agreed information as and when required. If it is NEC, quality control acts as a gatekeeper to contractor's design and program. It may reply within one period, the period of for a reply to any communication submitted to it by the contractor. Issue certificates to the employer and contractor. So these are the document suggestions, like the standard form of contract says it. FIDIC issues instructions, modify drawings as necessary for the execution of the works and remodifying of any defects. May attend management meetings with the contractor. So this is how the comparison can be made between JCT, NEC and FIDIC. So this is how the variations are mentioned in these contracts. So these are only for your reference, like when you become an engineer and if you're dealing with various types of contracts, when you need to go to any of these type of situations. So these will help you to understand or to select which type of contract is required. So time and money. So if you complete the practical completion snagging, so this JCT determines when practical completion achieved and issues notices of non-completion defects and can allow early possession. So this is, if you follow JCT contract, so this is how the completion goes on. If you follow NSE contract, it determines when practical completion achieved. So FIDIC is responsible for taking over process for completion of the workers. You can say cost scrutiny, the program, the provisional sums. It contains provisional sums. It does not contain provisional sums. It contains provisional sums. Payment in relation to JCT contract payment section is clear in all one section, clause 4, and easy to follow. But in relation to NSE, it is located in 3 different locations, so 3 different clauses are there. In relation to FIDIC contract, contract price and payment is in one section, so there are 14 clauses. So there are various type of situations or various scenarios are presented in various projects. So this is how it will help you to understand how the 3 standard forms of contracts are defining various major aspects of all standard documents. So maturity, administrative requirement, as I said, this is a very important one. Extension of time, loss and expense. You can see that JCT contract has relevant matters and time and money are dealt with as separate concepts. You can see NSE contract has the comparison event, the compensation, how much the compensation has to be given. The compensation event also have a condition procedure, nature and failure to notify the compensation event within 8 weeks can have dire consequences. So FIDIC contractors have different scenarios. So what is JCT here? The tribunal comprises representatives from the, these are the representatives from the Building Employees Confederation, the Royal Institute of British Architects and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, together associations representing local authorities. The tribunal draws up standard forms of building contract, revises, this is what does this tribunal do? The tribunal draws up standard forms of building contract, revises them periodically, and issues practice notice stating the opinion of the tribunal on matters that have given rise to difficulties of interpretation. So in this type of contract, if there is any difficulties being faced or any clarity required on any clause, so they will be regularly updating according to the scenarios or the changes happening. If you see FIDIC, it is an international federation of consulting engineers founded in 1913. So FIDIC represents globally the consulting engineering industry. So it has long been renewed for its standard forms of contracts for use between. So it's a FIDIC type of contract is in between employers and contractors on international construction projects very in particular. So these are the various objectives. So these are the various types of contracts. So the standard forms of contract under JCT, DB, CD, design and build contract, standard form with contractor design, consulting excellence contract, something like that. So these are various types of contracts. I'll show you how can you read all these things from where we got it down. So the NSA is by Institute of Civil Engineers, the first version. The objective was generally applicable to all projects like both building and engineering. The second objective was to accommodate all varieties of design. Okay, so I would like to tell you that this is a textbook. I'll show you the textbook and I will come back here. This is the textbook, standard reference textbook for this module. Construction contracts and procurements we follow Alan Turner. So while coming to construction contracts, tenders and all, we follow this textbook here. Construction contracts. So in this you can go to, if you go to chapter 8, contractor's choice. So this is a very important page. I can show you use of standard contracts. So this will give you clear details. So in this page number 120, you can see 8.3. You can see the whole information regarding JCT contracts. I hope you can be able to see the screen now. So this is all about JCT contracts, who are involved in it, what, how, when, and how JCC launched JCT. So you can see here JCT SBC Standard Building Contract 11. I'll keep it on page so it is easy for writing. So it is Intermediate Building Contract IC 11. So what it says, how it is useful and all. So minor work building contract, prime cost building contract, design and build contract. So this is what we are studying about before. So how the design and build contract is determined by JCT. Okay, you can talk about this in your courseworks also. Major project construction contract, so management contract. Again, this is also one of our important part. You can discuss this in your coursework, like if you're selected for management contract, then again you have to go with whether you have to go for JCT or you have to go for FIDIC or you have to go for NEC. Okay. Construction management documentation, so framework. So again the major importance is given to JCT. Then other standard forms of contract. In this you require FIDIC conditions of contract. Then NEC, new engineering and construction contract, the new engineering contract NEC. You can see there is various, whatever I am showing in the current slide is it just NEC family contracts. NEC family contract includes, these are the NEC family contracts. Okay, so this textbook will also help you to understand more about the various types of standard forms of contracts, and this is how our class is going to be. So we are going to discuss like how this standard forms of contracts are helpful in selection of contract and the standard form of contract. Thank you.